G'day folks. For this weekend's little project, I'm going to fix a pretty bad oil leak. Vicky's got a bit of a problem. Where is it? Well, it's actually more like everywhere. The underside of the pan, you sort of can't see, is dripping with oil again, and I only wiped it off when I had the exhaust off. Like when I took the Y pipe out and cleaned out the cat converters, I wiped everything down and cleaned, so even within a few metres of driving, she's already dripping everywhere. So I'm going to take the sump off and the harmonic balancer and all that stuff and get stuck right into it. I think these have two-piece sump on them. Oh, maybe not. Somebody said there was a upper and lower, but I think it appears to be one piece. Maybe I was looking at the very front where there's a timing cover. I don't know. I didn't think these ran a block stiffener, and they're already a pretty stout little block. Shouldn't need one. Anyway, being a machined flange, aluminium flange, I'm going to use Greymax, not the original gasket. And likewise, when I get in there, I'll have a look at what the timing covers look like, the chain covers. I've also bought a new front main seal, which is about $20, a bit overpriced, but it's quick and easy. So I'll do the seal for the balancer, and yeah, hopefully she'll be a bit less drippy. Don't need her being named after my mate's RAV4, aka Drippy. He really needs to get onto that. Keep losing oil like that. At least it's good underbody deadener. You need that in the States, especially when it snows and they use ice on, or not ice, salt on the roads. But yeah, and Betty's here too. I can't keep her away. Yeah, good fun. Anyway, let's give little Vicky here a bit of attention. Not that she hasn't had enough in the last couple of weeks, it's just one of those things. I'm going to try and get stuck into some other projects at the same time, but I can't really do much while she's pissing oil everywhere. I mean, literally, it's just everywhere. I did the drain last night and found that the plug had been screwed in with Loctite instant metal because the threads were stripped. But that's what borrowing a quarter-inch BSP tap from work is for. I couldn't find mine, but work has like 6 of them, so I borrow one of them. I borrow whatever I need from work, really. Yeah, plastic bodyguards need to come off, and Y pipe. There's a brace across the back there, across the middle, and that should also all drop down. You might not have to take the brace off. I didn't have to originally when I did the cat converters. It's just a bit awkward getting past the brace and the body. And notice there's no front central jacking point on here. This is not structure for jacking up. I had to do it one corner at a time off these structural points here where the lower wishbone comes down. So yeah, interesting. Modern cars made for hoists, not jack stands or jack under the centre. Kind of goes back to what an old post I read years ago about jacking up modern cars, because a friend of a poster's missus had a Ford Escape, which was pretty new back then. It was a 2001 or 2002 model, and she took it in to get a flat tyre fixed. Like, they'd taken the tyre off and everything, and when the bloody idiot at the generic tyre store went to put it back on, he jacked right up under the middle and cracked the transmission case. Goody. Took him a while to get that one sorted out. So yeah, be very careful about where you jack up modern cars, because these, like north-south braces, look strong, but they're not. There's nothing in it. Yeah, that's an engine mounting point, but again, I don't think this front structure is strong enough to use it as a lifting point. I don't think you could do that. I don't think there's enough in it. So I did it the safe way, and under the upper point for each front wishbone. I'm not going to get stuck into it too much today. It's getting cold and dark, and yeah, it's going to be one of those cold, foggy nights apparently. Tomorrow's morning fog. It's going to be Anzac Day, which is our basically our Veterans Day, and yeah, it'll be a good day. 21 degrees and sunny. And I'm also working on the lights out here. Just got to put the shields and waterproofing and that sort of stuff up, but it'll be all good. Perfect for working on cars out here. You know, I should have known to check the wheel nut tension before I put her up on stands. Twin hammer rattle gun at 110 pounds won't even budge them. None of them. I bet you they went to Bob Jane T-Marts or somewhere like that and got the new wheels and tyres fitted, and they put it on with maximum force. Fun. I got to jack her back up again on that corner, drop her down far enough to get traction, and then out comes the 4-foot cheetah bar. Hopefully they haven't damaged the wheels in the process. You know, I was kind of hoping to have gotten a bit further by now, but this is kind of, this has happened before with the Nissan Micra. I was able to roll that car over under full park brake. I had to put it in gear to try and lock it up enough. And even then, yeah, sketchy. At least they didn't go bang every time I release him. Also try not to take the side mirror off with the end of my breaker bar. That would not be good. It's way too tight. I mean, how the hell is someone supposed to be able to change a tyre anywhere within this bloody tight? That one's bad. That's that one done. Yeah, that's way too tight. Way too tight. There isn't even a receipt in the car to tell me who fitted them, otherwise I'd show you. Oh god. Yeah, and that's the bar that I used for a size comparison, and I was using most of it. Most of that leverage. Okay, so here's the rundown for the night. Multiple leaks. Light. Power steering's definitely leaking. Just something I didn't think about, but you can see up in there sort of there's power steering fluid running down past the front main. That's getting replaced anyway, and I know the sump gasket's probably leaking at the back, but if we climb underneath, as you can see, the AC compressor's nice and accessible. Alternator not so much, it's hiding up in there. Okay, so that's the front of the motor. As you can see, there's a bit of a flood mark from the power steering. It's constantly leaking. Some of that's engine oil, like that drop there is black, that's engine oil. That's pink, that's power steering. So there's two culprits here. The sides of the timing cover look okay, like that's dry up there. And I guess you'd almost call it a lower crankcase section. That there's a joint up there. So it's either an upper sump or a lower crankcase. Again, all the way around it's fine. Tiny little damp spot here and there. The back there at where the bell housing meets up is a little wet as well, but again, I'll put that down to bad sump gasket. Front main, I don't know, there's dark oil on that bolt there, so maybe the front main's leaking a bit. Either way, I've got the seal in stock, and I'm going to pull that balancer off and just pick it out and replace it. The serpentine belt's just a standard Motorcraft one. Seen better days, but again, it's not diabolically cracked or glazed. So, yeah, looking at the edge of that idler there, it's not all full of splits. Like you can see, it's just starting, so I'll leave it for now. The water pump belt is brand new, along with the pump. The alternator's in a horrible position. I don't know how you get that out without pulling the front end apart or dropping the front subframe. You might be able to sneak it out down the back there. That's a horrible position for an alternator. It's right adjacent to the rear cylinder bank cat converter as well. But yeah, the power steering pump's definitely a culprit. It lives in the valley between the cylinders, and I just have to take and put a block under the engine and a jack very, very lightly, and take the front center engine mount. You can see it just up there, directly above the pulley. That comes off, and then I can lift the power steering pump straight out of the valley. I think I can see the intake manifold above it too, so that'll have to come off as well. But that has to come off anyway when I do the spark plugs. So I'll find out if the pump itself's shot. Looking at where the bearing boss is on the pump, it's not wet. So I'd say the low pressure feeder line for it's probably perished and just gone loose. Blue Rav has the exact same problem, but his is hidden down here next to one of the drive shafts. It's a pain to get to. At least Vicky's got something over Blue Rav. The power steering pump's a lot easier to get to. But on the negative side, Blue's alternator's right on top where you can do it in about 5 minutes. This one here, I've got no idea. It almost looks like an engine out job. But anyway, that upper gasket there is wet, but it doesn't look like it's been pissing out. I don't know, I'm going to check bolt tensions and things when I do it. Either way, the exhaust has to come off. The old filter I can't spin off by hand, no surprise there. Way over tightened. That is the midsection, or the lower crankcase or upper sump. Again, that whole section all the way up to the back there is dry. So it looks like it's just oil blown down from the power steering pump and from various leaks, which is also leaking on me. And that's the other problem. Stripped drain plug threads. Not so good. So yeah, let's do a little bit more on this tomorrow, I think. That's about as far as I'm going to go. It's getting a bit chilly out here. So yeah, that front main seal can be done. I do like the fact that they run a spring-loaded tensioner on this belt and just rely on belt wrap to do the power transmission. See how that moves? That means they don't ridiculously over-tighten the belt. You can almost twist it 360 degrees or at least 180. Rather than over-tightening the hell out of it and flogging out your bearings. I like this idea much more than, say, my sister's Toyota Echo, aka the Yaris. That ate its alternator before 100,000 Ks, and it was just the bearings that went in it. I remember she drove it into my driveway one day complaining about the noise, and as soon as I heard it, it was just a raspy bearing race in the alternator, but the problem was the little bolts on it were so well over tightened I couldn't get the bugger off. So we had to send it to the dealer, and even the dealer said they have to apply heat to them to get them off. Well, new cars. I'm sure this one's going to be full of surprises like that, but at least I didn't pay that much for it. And yes, the aircon does work. Actually works very well. Comes on with the demist and cycles very frequently. It works very well. Oh, is that the crank? That's probably the crank position sensor right there. I'm just looking at sensors now. There's one up there on the front cylinder bank on cylinder number 6. And there's one there which looks like a crankshaft position sensor. That wiring's seen better days. I wonder if that's part of my problem. Anyway, thanks for watching. That'll do for now. It's one of those funny cold nights. But yeah, I like this tension system. Much better than over tightening the belts. Much better. Now I just have to figure out how to release the belt tension enough to get it off. I'm sure there's a special tool or something, but it'll have something to do with this.